Um, First, I want to make sure that we go ahead and like copy and paste the site. All right, there we go. That's about good enough. A few things I just wanted to make sure I had addressed was the show that I was supposed to play last night ended up getting canceled. Um, it happens. It happens. Um, COVID has really, just destroyed a lot of musicians, and I've watched a lot of bands just come and go, but never like this. Like this is nuts. Because you're watching bands that had a lot of, uh, they just had a lot of promise, and I feel like that promise was just taken away once COVID had really struck and just hurt so many businesses that were keeping bands like my own alive, and you know, there's no old saying in music that no matter who you're playing with, you keep on playing. You just keep going, you keep going, you keep going. But it's strange that once COVID has now come to a much lower level, uh, people are still very iffy about having shows and keeping the shows afloat. And I think that's sad because when I was young, there was a place that we used to go to called the Sanctuary Cafe. I don't know if that fan's making too much noise. Someone let me know. I don't know. So anyway, there was a place called Sanctuary Cafe, and a friend of mine owned it, and it was my friend's mother's place, but it was a fantastic place to be. It was the only place where someone like myself could gain, um, I don't know, gain not status, but just get their foot in the door, and then get people to understand that you know there's so much music out there. And the problem was we couldn't play every day, but we got to play almost every weekend. And the sad thing is that our nearest competition was the cemetery, so it made it really sad because it meant nobody was ever coming in on the weekdays, and it's just sad. Trying to do this at different times. I can't even spell join. Join in. Try to type shit. I'm not good at. So anyway, the whole point of the Sanctuary Coffee House to me and to friends of mine was always just a way to get heard, and also what it did was it was allowing you to get your steps in, learn how to control a crowd, learn how to put your work in, and you really discover who you are. In my opinion, being on stage is It's similar. It's akin to sex, I guess. It's very close to sex because you have to you have to communicate with your body language, and you have to communicate by sometimes you have to communicate without words, and you know the slightest thing from because nobody wants to see a band just stand there, or um, nobody wants to see uh, the bands that that just play and just stand there, and the singer doesn't know how to read the crowd or even enjoy the experience. And to me, one of the most important things was um, uh, just enjoying that feel for what kind of crowd it is. I mean, I've dealt with violent crowds. I've dealt with fun crowds. I've dealt with funny crowds. Um, in different ways. There's ways to whether you wanted to, I don't know, whether you were an acoustic performer or a metal performer, punk rock performer, or a rapper. It didn't matter. If you don't have that ability to, you know, just zone, just not zone out, but just get that front row. You look at that front row, and then you let everyone else kind of fade into that. And so what it does is it allows you to focus on what you want to do. It allows you to focus on yourself and what you're doing on that stage. Um, it can be so simple as to putting a foot on a monitor. When you're doing a scream or something. There's something to that where, as long as you're not getting off the stage. I mean, I did a show once uh, it was called Chi-Town Horseshoe, and it's in Chicago. It's off of Irving Park, and I did this show. Uh, God, like 10, it was more than 10 years ago, and it was funny because my band had more material, more original work, and we could fill 90 minutes, no problem. This guy could barely fill in 45, and so we actually played two sets because the uh, opening band didn't show. One of them, I think, got injured, something like that, and the I think the other ones just got canceled. I don't know what happened, but we ended up getting two gigs instead of one. So we just ended up playing for a good long period. Uh, Let me try to shout out to some more people. I don't know why this is taking people so long. Also, I'm not really good at going on Facebook. The whole Facebook Live thing, I don't even know how to really use it. So, I mean, I'm used to using this. So, let's try to see what happens. So I don't have that kind of technology where you can just go live or whatever. All right, there's an ad. Damn, I did not know how to go. Oh, here we go. Wow, there we go. All right, so I think I figured it out. I'm pretty sure I figured it out. Connect streaming software to go live. What does that even mean? I really don't know what that means. There we go. All right. So now we're what is this simulcasting? I guess this is simulcasting. Um. So where what were we talking? Get off of my screen. So okay, now what we were originally talking about. I'm gonna just bounce off of YouTube and Facebook, I guess. I don't have that type of technology that can do both, but the whole point of what I was saying was there's a lack of places that allow you to get out there and do what you want to do, and I highly doubt that anybody even knows what I'm talking about now, because there used to be a place again that was called Sanctuary. We all just called it Sanctuary, and the reason why this place was so damn important was because of the fact that it allowed you to extend your roots and grow roots. It allowed you to look and feel a crowd, look at what's working, what's not working. Um, it taught you how to handle it. And by the way, if anyone's watching this on Facebook, we are also on YouTube. So nobody's chatting on anything. So whatever. Um, so again, the whole point of it was to be able to your extend your abilities, and I've seen some crazy shit after that. Um, I think I think the place originally started with like movie nights, and then I remember we had like an Evil Dead night there, and then suddenly every weekend there was a concert, and you didn't need a following, and that's one of the most annoying things about places today is that you need this following. Uh, you need to bring in 50 or some odd people. It's like some of us don't even know 50 people, and I think that's the I don't know. It's such a bad idea because you're already killing off so many people that wanted to see you, that could have seen you, and I don't know what any of this shit means. So anyway, these kind of places are extremely necessary, in my opinion, because of the fact that you're never going to be who you want to be when it comes to playing a show. And I'm sorry, this thing is just really uh, fucking distracting. Now that you're live, you can see your real time insights. Add tools to increase distribution and engagement. I mean, doesn't it just say that I'm live? I mean, fuck it. You're either gonna tune in or you're not. I prefer the YouTube one anyway, because at least I can tell there's a little section over here where I can actually see if anybody's writing back or saying anything. Now, this place meant a lot to, especially the young rockers of the early 2000s. And me and a friend of mine, we had a little band going, and we managed to we managed to find, enough people to come by and check it out, and we managed to come up with enough material that people started to actually show up to shows, and people actually gave a shit. And what was great about that place was that even if nobody gave a shit, like even if you know even if you were just there to support your buddy's band, you'd end up finding something, that you liked about it. Like for me, my first experience of falling in love with local music was uh, being at the sanctuary and being able to see the band Point of Arc, and that meant a lot to me. I mean, anytime they played, I was coming over. I got lucky. I got close with the owner because again, the owner was a friend of mine's mom, so it was a lot easier to gain some sort of access into that. But the whole point was that it was just a way of getting some stomping ground and getting some grip on how to perform properly. Now, like I said, when COVID hit, it reminded me a lot of when Sanctuary got closed down. Because when Sanctuary closed down, it was goddamn tragic. Because if you ever watch documentaries on like um, things like uh, the Viper Room or CBGBs or anything like that, something happens when you lose a huge, staple in your community. I mean, it's like losing a friend when you lose a place that you really loved going to, and that really sucked. Uh, so now, uh, you can go on and call, because actually just before COVID, when you would call in, they would start asking you, well, what's your following? Like if you want to play like a good place like Reggie's or something like that, you know, you're gonna have to have some sort of notoriety or um, some sort of hookup, and usually they tell you some shit like, you know, well, do you have at least 50 people that can get in the door? So then it was, almost impossible for a nobody to get there. And that's why I really believed in that whole, um, it's not about it's not how about your talent, it's just who you know. And it's extremely, I'm sorry, that's like dead on. What I think I'm gonna do is try to do this again, maybe at a later hour, because I am not, and I am not a night person anymore. I used to be. I used to be up all night. Now I'm up at 5 in the damn morning. And oh, good morning, sis. How you doing? That's awesome. Uh, so yeah, it sucks that a band has to fight so hard, or any kind of musician, and oh God forbid, a comedian. And in today's world, a comedian is basically traveling in dead water because of the simple fact that people can't take a damn joke anymore. Um, I've watched, small little comedy groups go like comedy, not comedy groups, but like these comedy cellar, like little comedy hole in the wall kind of places. And I noticed that they're all going down, and it sucks, man. It's like, where are you gonna find the next Nirvana, or the next music, the next change in music? I'm not saying that I am that. I'm just saying, how are you gonna get that if you're constantly canceling off people and also having nowhere to go? I mean, um, I just heard about uh, Dave Chappelle being canceled in Minnesota. I think it was. How the hell is it might have been Minneapolis? Um, how the hell does a person like Dave Chappelle get canceled out of his own venue? I mean, that's not a good sign. That's not in America that I want to be a part of. I'm not saying that I'm an anti-American or anything, but to kick Dave Chappelle out of his own gig, and then I think he had to play at a different gig. I'm not sure how it worked with the ticket sales and all that stuff. Really not sure. And to my lovely sister, let me know how this is coming out, if this is clear or not, if you can, because I keep getting this little thing popping up telling me that my frames per second is really low. I don't even know what that means. But I'm simply on here just testing the the viability of being on to which channel. Like right now, we're streaming on YouTube, Facebook. I wanted to get on Streamlabs, but I wasn't comfortable with any. I'm never comfortable with anything that's asking to go into my hard drive and rearrange things. That scares the hell out of me. So, not exactly sure how that works. Um, so yeah, yeah. This whole, I don't know. I don't get how the liberals and the left, and this whole thing about cancel culture and all that. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I think that the average kid, I don't know, the average idiot like myself, really doesn't know what the hell to call themselves anymore, because you're constantly wondering, um, you know, can I say this? Can I do this? Is this going to be a problem? And I remember jumping on at one point as a comedian. I did like I was saying, a show, like a hole in the walls kind of show, so art festival, and right away got in trouble because I made some autism joke, and you know it's ridiculous to me because I have family that has gone through that kind of issue, and so I know it firsthand, and I've seen it firsthand. And I'm sorry, but if you can't laugh about it, then that means you can't get through it. You know, um, that's why comedians are the most truthful people, in my opinion. They're the most truthful people because of the sheer fact that they are not afraid to say whatever they want to say, and once they do whatever they want to do, 9 out of 10 times the guy is telling you the honest truth, not the filtered bullshit you're going to get from your local news. I don't know when celebrity worship became news, but it's definitely become a massive problem in this country. Celebrity worship is insane. And I think cancel culture fits right in with that because of the fact that it's just idiotic. You're complaining about everything, and it just gets to the point where nobody can say anything or do it. It's like, who would want to walk around on eggshells like their entire life? I don't get it. I can't do it. Personally, I won't. If I'm not comfortable around somebody or something like that, I have no problem cutting them out of my life. If you're negative and constantly just you know, killing my vibe, then just dump it. Just dump the person. It's life is so much better without the drama. I mean, some people thrive on it, and if you do, then that's on you, man. We're at 15 minutes on here. All right. So hopefully somebody's watched this. It's only going to be about 20 minutes right now. I'm going to do this again in about 2 hours. Well, about 3 hours. I want to do it again at noon. See if there's any difference in other live streaming platforms. So, yep, I will catch you guys on the other side and start tuning in next time, please.